TikTok, I am back. When I tell you, they turned this man every which way but loose. Had him shivering up there. Y'all gotta look at this, alright? When I tell you that regulations are just around the corner, this is evident, okay? His own team is turning against him. His own team, both sides, Democrats and Republicans. Now, you have to take note that they are coming together on this one policy, okay? I don't agree with CBDCs because it's another form of control, just to get that out the way. But the point of this is they want to regulate it in order for them to get their cut. They want to make money too. This isn't just for the institutions, the corporations, this isn't for everybody else, to be honest. This is for them. That is why we have to get in early. That is why we have to pay attention to where this money is flowing, because these tax dollars that they're about to mention in this video, you pay for it. And guess what it did? Nothing. Because guess what? Crypto is still here, and it's here to stay. That is what I'm trying to tell y'all, okay? So let's get into this. Like I said, not financial advice, but do your own research.
Some words have meaning really raises questions about clarity.
Well, the laws are clear, and it's written by the Supreme Court, but also...
The laws are clear, but what we're seeing from the SEC is a lack of clarity. The direct question is about the different terms, and rather than answering that question, you answered a separate question. Kudos to you. Commissioner Peirce, let's get into this question.
I think that's absolutely true. We've taken a legally imprecise view to mask the regulatory lack of clarity. And this is why people have been coming to us and saying we need clarity. And I think this is absolutely, we've fallen down on our duty as a regulator not to be precise. And so tucking into a footnote that, yes, we admit that now actually the token itself is not a security, that's something that we should have admitted long ago and then started wrestling with the difficult questions.
Right.
There certainly are some guidelines we could provide in this area that we have chosen not to provide.
But a statutory definition would help.
He's also been a proponent of crypto in the past as well. Take a look.
I am the only commissioner in the history of the agency who's actually stood before a panel of judges in oral argument and articulated the Howey test. The commission, for instance, I'll give you one example, could have articulated specifically in the context of crypto and digital assets how you apply this test as to whether or not it's an investment contract and therefore a security. We have chosen not to go down that path. We're now entering into our second decade of thinking about this issue.
Second decade of thinking about this issue, not having any answers, not being prepared. And now what we're talking about is really more stifling of innovation, probably more so than any here in the United States, while you look at what's happening in the EU, look at what's happening in Asia, even in the Middle East to a certain extent, all kind of surpassing what has been happening here in the U.S., all because of the SEC.
Formation. How much work has been put into capital formation in the last 4 years?
Nothing on the positive side. I would say we've done things that are negative to capital formation.
I think it is a very significant problem. In fact, 78% of all small business owners said they have problems finding capital.
Yeah, and the reason is the regulations that you have from the SEC. The fact that they need to get a stablecoin bill passed. That's not a typo. Take a look.
Mr. Chairman, before the end of this year, I want us to strike a grand bargain on stablecoins. But I'll be honest, with less than 3 months left in the 118th Congress, we're running out of time to pass this. I know we can get this done if we focus. So let's make it happen. And I've made a public statement to you about bipartisanship. Let's see what you do with it.
I don't know what's going on there, but I'm not sure because Maxine has been pretty much in the pocket of Joe Biden, and the last time we've tried to assess these, including SAB 121, a lot of things have changed. Apparently, there is so much movement going in the right direction. So, hey, maybe we're going to get something passed here before the end of the year. The infamous Tom Emmer doing what he does best, berate Mr. Gensler. Take a look.
Which brings
us to the debt box case in Utah, where your attorneys, who no doubt heard your anti-crypto rhetoric, went out and deliberately lied to a court in order to effectuate the commands from their chair to prosecute crypto companies. Chair Gensler, do you know of any other time in history where the SEC has been sanctioned by a court for material misrepresentation?
When we hire folks, we hire...
No, reclaiming my time, sir. The answer to that question is no, it has never happened. Does the fact that we're talking about this today even slightly embarrass you?
Look, the matters in that case were not well handled, and we said that to the court.
Reclaiming my time again. And just to be clear, the SEC had to pay with taxpayer dollars nearly $2 million in legal fees for this material misrepresentation, for this lie. Is the debt box case the reason that why the SEC's head of crypto asset and cyber unit resigned in June, sir?
No, they went to take another job.
Okay, so no one in a senior level position here in Washington, D.C. has been held responsible for this complete abuse of taxpayer dollars. Somehow, worst of all, you've made up the term crypto asset security. You made it up, only for your lawyers to retract it in a footnote to a court just last week.
Mr. Gensler, would you ever use the term Orange Grove Securities?
I don't believe I have.
Gets into, speaking of a business owner, this is getting into the Coinbase case versus the SEC and where they stand. Take a look.
So, Coinbase repeatedly, 30 times, tried to come in and register with the SEC, and the SEC refused to respond. They then submitted a petition for a rulemaking. Then the SEC identified potential violations in a Wells notice, but refused to identify what those were. Howie, in your mind, is very clear. Commissioner Peirce, is this moving target, is this lawlessness by the commission conducive to investor protection?
No, it's not.
Grayscale Ripple, over and over and over and over again, your administrative actions have been struck down in federal court.
We knew ahead of time that there were legal questions about whether we had the authority to do what we did, but we moved forward, and this is not good for our institutional integrity.